What's up, horn dogs out there? Troy to the max extreme here.
And Ghost Hunter Dave.
And together, we seduce crime as Imperius Rex.
Or in this case, Troy, Imperius Sex.
Wow.
And violence. That's right, we're finishing strong with a look at one of the most infamous independent comics. I'm talking about Faust. So Troy,
Yeah.
you ever heard of Faust before I placed it in your hands?
No.
No.
But you placed it in my hands...
Ever so gently.
Maybe a decade ago at this point.
Yeah.
And you're like, check out this.
Check out this shit.
And this has been going for...
Wanna see something?
This has been going for a while. Check out this. Full page of like a spread. When I say a spread, I mean it. A spread.
Every connotation. Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? Cut to now. We're reading it.
Is Faust.
Volumes 1, 2, and 3.
This is what you like now.
This is the show you're getting now.
So, this was created by Tim Vigil on art and David Quinn on writing, and this was just a super gritty, ultra-violent, hero back from the dead comic that predated all of the mainstays. The Crow, Spawn, yet it never achieved the status of either of those.
Yeah.
Which is kind of... I say it's a shame, because I enjoy this shit, but I don't know how many other people are into, like, this level of, like, I say maturity. It's not super mature. It's just very gore and sex.
Yeah, it's very mature content.
Yes. But, I mean, it makes sense that this didn't ever take off in that regard because of just the onslaught of sex and depravity that litters the pages of this.
Yes. It's odd that Spawn is so similar to this.
Yeah. Only, what, 3 years later? Two years later?
3 years later that Spawn comes out, and it is very similar to the premise of this.
A hero back from the dead.
Yeah.
Saving people getting attacked in alleyways with a flowing cape and a living costume.
Right. And that achieved the status that it did, and this didn't. It has to be separated just by the fact that Spawn was not as hard.
Yeah.
As this title was.
And
I can see, like, Faust not being super sellable.
Yeah.
Like, there's a niche crowd that really gets into this.
It's funny, too, because, like, they chose this path. Like, this is exactly the book they wanted to put out.
Yeah.
It was not a mistake that Faust ended up looking like it did.
Right.
Like, this is what Tim Vigil and David Quinn wanted to do. And, I mean, that's respectable.
It is.
I don't think no one got rich off of this, but they stayed true to their art and their artistic vision, and they made what they wanted to, even though it took them 25 years to finish. And I don't think either of them did a whole lot of other things. Like, I think they both took on other projects to, like, kind of pay the bills and, everything. But, like, this was their passion. And there was even a 7-year gap between the last 2 issues of this book where I was just listening to Tim Vigil speak on Comics K-Fab.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing him, and he was telling, like, his whole story about this, where he was just like, I gotta finish this. You know, like, I keep kind of putting it off, but I don't want to rush it, and I don't want to, like, undersell it, but, like, I gotta finish Faust.
Right.
You know, it was like, before I die, I have to wrap this thing up. Even though it's only 15 issues. You know? Like, that's crazy. And especially the fact that, like, the last half of it takes place in, like, one scene, essentially.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. So, Troy, if I can be frank with you, if I can lay it all out on the table,
I hope you would.
my first encounter with Faust was the film.
Really?
Yes. As a cinephile in my youth, I saw this on the video store shelves, and I was like, what's this? I like Spawn.
Yeah?
And I rented it, and I was like, this sucks.
This sucks. Yeah.
But there was enough to it that I was like, but something is here.
Yeah.
There's a spark here that they just couldn't translate.
I can see that.
To film. Yeah. And I scanned those credits. I saw based on the graphic novel from Tim Vigil and David Quinn. And I was like, I gotta track this thing down. So I looked it up, went to their website, brokenhalos.com, and bought myself the first 2 volumes of Faust, Love of the Damned, the Communion edition.
Yes.
Got him in the mail, and boy howdy, Teenage Dave was in for a ride.
I bet he was.
Faust is about a psychiatrist named Jade DeCamp, who is trying to unravel the mystery of the singing slasher, a razor-gloved assassin who may or may not be her dead former patient/lover, John Jaspers, the one-time hitman of M, crime boss, and possible devil.
Yeah.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, that old ditty. That's not so clear up until like a good chunk through this book either.
No. And along the way, there's a couple other characters. There's like a reporter that crosses paths, a detective, several depraved hitmen.
Yep.
And, of course, Claire.
Oh, who could forget her?
The murder-loving sex addict who, God, if there's one thing she loves more than sex, it's murdering people in the act of sex.
Yes. Yes.
And all these characters kind of have their own schemes, and they all intersect with John Jaspers as he attempts to both protect Claire while seeking vengeance against M for killing him?
Reasons?
Maybe?
I don't know.
I think he's back from the dead. This whole thing is like a scatter shot.
Yeah.
You know, it's told by an unreliable narrator. It's all over the place chronologically.
Yeah.
And it is also very hallucinatory.
Yes.
And it's told over the course of 25 years.
Yes.
But the story itself takes place in like a week.
I feel, so just to dive actually into the book, the first issue or 2, I feel is kind of hard to follow because at points you don't know who's speaking.
Yeah.
Like, because it goes between like Jaspers and
Claire. No, not Claire. Jade.
Jade and the
Claire
reporter.
speaks with her puss.
When you get to like Faust talking, the singing slasher
Who loves James Brown, by the way.
Yeah, oh my God, does he ever. Like, it gets to the point where he's speaking, you can see his perspective.
Yes.
It's like how crazy he is. He's seeing other shit along the lines of like his reality.
These are some of my favorite moments of this book.
Yeah.
And I think what like really sets it apart, there's one issue in particular, I think it's issue 3, where he meets Jade in a coffee shop. And he's just freaking out as he's talking to her. He's like in a trench coat. And you're constantly seeing things from his perspective and then hers. And from hers, he just looks like kind of a crazy guy. But from his, he's seeing like mouths and eyes on his hand. And he's seeing like his face crumbling and demons like ripping out of his body.
Yeah.
And it's like just such a great illustration of this guy that's back from hell and just completely losing his shit.
Right. And it's not even clear that he's like back from the dead up into like
no,
way
I don't
far.
even know if he is.
Like, well, I think he is.
He is.
Like, it comes, and sometimes I'm mixing the movie up because I also watched the movie as well for this.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if it like it shows it more clear. I'm pretty sure it shows it more clearly in the movie than it does in the book.
I think it does too.
Because
it kind of whittles it down.
Yeah, I think in the book it comes like way farther on, like, hey, I think I died.
Yeah.
And maybe came back to life. But in the show, like, you get to see it. And the show, can we talk about the show just for a second here, or do you want to leave that for later?
The movie?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Go into it.
Okay, the movie...
Let your heart guide your path.
So, the movie is these 3 volumes. Communion 1, 2, and 3. It is all of it.
Because
almost
the last 6 issues are just one sequence over the course of a blood orgy.
Yes. It is the most... probably accurate depiction I've ever seen
since League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Since League. It is so spot on. The only difference that it makes is, like, in the book, like, he literally changes into a suit and becomes Faust.
That's the only difference.
In the show, in the movie, he
spawns.
He spawns. He transforms into him.
Into a big rubbery, wiggly horn prosthetic.
Yeah. And
the movie is garbage.
The movie is complete garbage.
But it's just enough to make you like, but what if this was good? And then you seek out the comic.
Does it? I don't know.
Well, we come from 2 different backgrounds.
I think if you go from comic to movie, it's better. If you go from movie to comic, you're like, I don't even know if you go from movie to comic at all. You're the only one. You're the only one that happened with.
Look how I turned out. Living my best life over here.
The one other thing that the movie has going for it too is the odd transformation scene where Claire turns into the puddle of tits and ass.
Yes.
Out of nowhere. That's the only thing that anyone ever wants to comment about. I watched okay, what do other people think about this movie? The only thing I could find was a Red Letter Media reviewed it on their Best of the Worst series.
Yeah.
And they had a field day with the puddle of tits and ass. And otherwise, they thought the movie was just fun. You know? It won the show, right?
Yeah, best in show. Faust.
Yeah. But that movie is crazy, but accurate to the source material.
It is.
In an insane way.
Yeah, in a very low budget, pared down version. It is essentially the story.
If you want to find it, I think it's on YouTube for free.
Yeah. It probably is. I had it on VHS. It didn't survive the transition from my VHS to DVD collection. Maybe I'll have to seek it out someday. Who knows? Maybe I'll wait for the 4K.
I probably should.
So to try to explain this very scattered book, which works in its favor half the time because of, as we said, the hallucinating narrator.
Right.
Until you try to explain to someone what's actually happening in it.
Yep.
And your description starts ending in questions like, and I think he's back from the dead?
Yeah.
It gets easier to say, it's just Spawn. It's like gross Spawn. It's gross Spawn.
It's horny Spawn.
It absolutely is.
What I don't understand in both the movie and the series is how on earth does that psychiatrist fall for John Jaspers? He is literally an insane person.
A flat-out lunatic.
She is horny for him at all times. God. The D must be so good.
She's hornier than Claire.
She really is. She does not... She, I guess, has a fiancé, right? And she does not care about that because she is getting it from this crazy asshole.
Oh my god, that back from the dead Jaspers?
Yeah.
Golly.
God.
That fiance of hers doesn't hold a candle to this, to that rigor mortis.
Not
that
at
this
all.
guy's sporting. Oh my god.
Doesn't make any sense.
There are so many penises in this book.
Yes.
Erect, flaccid,
lopped off,
in mouths, in butts, in vages.
Yeah.
Oh my god. There's probably some talking dicks in it. I don't even know. I know there's dicks as snakes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, plenty of those.
There's dicks as snakes. There's real snakes.
There's
coming out of vaginas.
There's snakes and vaginas. There's everything. The artwork on this is like next level.
Yeah, it's dynamite.
It is almost a crime that Tim Vigil did not go on to, like, a more popular
Yeah, like a super high
product.
profile.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I get that he doesn't want to do, like, a Marvel or a DC book.
Sure.
I get that. Faust is an example of what he is all about.
Right.
But, like, my word, there's got to be a spot for him somewhere.
Right.
Like, this guy, he's the real deal.
Right,
In terms of,
especially
like,
back
the
in,
craft.
The late 80s, early 90s,
Yeah.
there is, like, not a lot of people doing the quality of work that he was doing back then.
No, and, like, there's a lot of speculation that, like, this really ushered in, like, that 90s comic feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all that gritty, like, even, some people are even saying, like, Dark Knight, Watchmen. You know, there's elements that kind of stemmed from this, because at that time, there was not a lot of books like this.
Mm-hmm.
I would even say there's not a whole lot of books like this today.
No,
I mean, you might be able to find something out there, but not with the quality that this thing had.
Right.
Where, like, this is smut,
Yeah.
but with a purpose,
Uh-huh.
you know? Whereas I think anything that you would compare it to today is just, like, pure smut.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Like, this, I would say, is art. If I'm gonna judge what art is right here.
Yeah.
Which is a tough thing to define. But, like, I feel like these guys made what they really set out to make.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just to, like, jerk off to.
No, right.
Or get their
You're
kicks to. Like, they made something that they really wanted to see on paper.
Right.
Where I don't think a lot of things like this had that same agenda.
I completely agree. They set out to make something that they could not find. And they wanted to see. And they made it. And they made it over a course of 25 years.
Yeah.
And anything else is going to be trying to be an imitation.
Yeah.
And it's not going to live up to the standard.
In that interview that we talked about earlier with Comics K-Fab, he was talking about how at the time when this was being printed, you know, in like the 90s, they really cracked down on some of these mature level books.
I bet.
And they were like issuing fines and closing down comic shops for selling this book.
Really?
In books like this.
What's the difference? Okay, if you're looking at it from like a pornographic standpoint, I guess.
Yeah.
What's the difference between that and selling like a Hustler mag in a Barnes & Noble store?
Yeah,
there is no difference.
I guess like it's a comic shop and comics are for kids. But they set out to make this for people like them.
Yeah.
You know, these guys were making it, they're in their late 20s and 30s, and they're like, I'm making the book that I want. And sure, like, teenagers want it, why
Sure.
wouldn't they? But, like, I'm doing what I want to read. Which, like, I give them credit for
Right.
that. You know, it's not all I would want to read,
Right,
but,
yeah.
like, every once in a while, I'd pull out a Faust and
why not?
see what they're cooking up there,
For
just
sure.
for, like, a laugh,
Yeah.
you know? So we've talked this thing up. What is it that sets this book so far apart from other things on the shelf?
Well,
The answer is everything. All of the above. All of it.
yeah.
Anything you can imagine.
So you mentioned before there is quite an orgy scene near the end.
Quite.
I-
There's a couple.
I believe even before the one at the end, there's a very explicit one. Let me set the scene. You have
Yeah.
your main character, Claire.
Yes.
And she's the way she is. She's a bit,
She's a free spirit.
oh boy, is she. But she is fully nude. And she's hanging
At all
upside
times.
down. And you have your main antagonist,
M.
M. And he goes at her. And he just... And that's not the end of that, because she is somewhat
Just the
into
beginning.
it. Because at the end, not even at the end, there is like an awakening inside of her where a python
Python.
emerges from her. He takes that and forces it into
An anus.
and he is inhabited with an evil spirit.
Yeah.
In which he
Is that
becomes...
the homunculus?
Yeah, he becomes sort of some horny homunculus.
Oh my god.
And-
And he is fully...
You bet he is.
And by god, he keeps that through like
It is-
4 issues of their battle,
It is
just
so
swaying
hard.
side to side.
Oh my god. It is something to behold. And there's
absolutely
only
is.
something in this book where you can really see that type of shit. Because doesn't it go on where somebody turns into like a werewolf?
Oh yeah, there's definitely some werewolf sex in there. Well, I thought the werewolf was a homunculus, but it was a different weird monster. There's just a different werewolf type of thing that M just like pulls out from behind the curtain, and he's like, "Hey, now this thing's gonna fuck you." And then that thing gets down in it.
Yeah.
There's so much banging in this.
Yes.
It is just another level.
It is, and it's smattered all throughout. Like, you'll get done with, like, an issue that is, like, pretty action-heavy.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that was, like, a fun, action-y issue. Like, just as good as, like, my latest X-Men issue or whatever. The
You're like,
next one will
but
cut
it seems
to...
like no one's fucked in a while.
That's exactly what they were thinking.
Yeah.
The next issue is so fuck-heavy.
I'm glad you said that.
that it's like...
It's the whole issue.
It's so jarring. It's not even that they're making love. They're fucking.
No one makes love in this book.
They are fucking.
They make war.
Yeah.
We've read a lot of stuff. You know,
Uh-huh.
we're both, we're not Ed Pisker over here.
Right.
But we like,
Oh,
we
well
sample
read.
a little everything.
Yeah,
I feel like we're
well-read.
well read.
Yeah.
And I feel like Faust is very much in its own category.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as we said, the closest thing I can consider along with it is Spawn.
Yeah.
And then, like, a Playboy.
Not Playboy is PG-13
Yeah,
compared to
all
this.
right. I want to cater to Hustler. Not looking for
A sponsorship.
no. We'd take it, but and it was like essentially self-published by them for a long time. Like Rebel Studios was the genius behind this, and then eventually I think it went to Avatar. Which
really?
you may recognize from Neonomicon, Crossed, all these just like gore fests.
Yeah.
But they have never released like an easily accessible volume. Like you're thinking like, what the fuck is Faust? I've never heard of this. That's because you can't get this anywhere.
Right.
And they need to put this thing out
If
because
they...
there is an audience for this. Like, if they put it out, if, like, Avatar, it's 15 fucking issues. It's not that big. I can't believe that this isn't out there somewhere.
Right. If Avatar Press put this out in a deluxe hardcover, can you imagine the people have been, like, maybe waiting for it or, like, maybe even see this and be like, I can't get my hands on that. Where can I read it?
Yeah.
Like, that would be the fucking big deal.
Man,
you know what I mean?
This is not, like, my favorite thing in the world, but if they released, like, a deluxe Faust, that would be, like, my #1 buy of the year. You know? Just because, like, it is so unavailable. Like, I need that.
Yes.
You know? Like, I bought the first 3 Communion editions on their website, and then they started releasing issue by issue. And they're like $75 an issue because they're such a low print run to the point where like you can't even get certain ones. So you like, I would imagine people have to like pirate it to get the full story.
Right.
Which that's not helping anybody.
No.
Like put this thing out.
Right.
Make it available. Like you will make money on this.
Avatar Press, you've got the clout.
Yes.
To make this
you
happen.
have the audience right there. But yeah, like what a tale. That age-old tale. John Jaspers.
Right.
Claire.
If people are clamoring for this, hit up Avatar Press. If they've got the rights to it right now,
my God,
hit them up. Demand it. Maybe it'll happen. Like, let's start a grassroots campaign.
Oh my God, yeah.
Make Faust hard. Like, get it going.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
God, that would make my year. 2021.
Yeah. Especially if we made it happen, I would high-five you so fucking hard.
Oh my God.
It would be heard around the world.
Todd McFarlane is out there saying 2021 is going to be the year of Spawn.
Papi.
No let's make that the year of Faust.
Let's make it happen. You heard it here first.
For Tim Vigil, for David Quinn, let's put this thing out.
We can champion anything. It's this.
Yes.
This is the only thing our show can 100% get behind. It's fucked up enough that this is our bag, baby.
Golly. Word. Can you imagine?
Man.
Can you imagine if we got Faust printed?
I would fucking love it.
Die a happy man.
For real. I really would.
Oh my god.
Hey, quick note from the editing room. We filmed this episode near the beginning of the year, and since then we have actually learned about not one, but two startling developments. Artist Tim Vigil himself has hinted on his Instagram that there might very well be a collected edition in the works, which we have to assume we played at least a small role in simply willing into existence through our sheer desire to see it materialize. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't want to make Faust hard. Show your support, let the publishers know there's an audience for this, and let's stand behind these creators for putting out such an insanely unique piece of art. Now, number 2, even crazier, there's talks of Sony Pictures producing a Faust animated series, which is pure insanity. The studio behind Into the Spider-Verse and The Mitchells vs. the Machines could potentially be bringing us Faust the cartoon. Who knows what it'll look like, or even if it'll get off the ground, but it's exciting nonetheless. 2021, the year of Faust indeed. Now back to you fuckers. Oh, and I should note, I'm pretty sure I'm wearing underwear in this, even though during particular leg crossing shots it might not look like it. Just rest assured, everything is covered. I think.
But that's going to probably do it for the
Yeah.
show, I think. Have you read Faust? Can you get your hands on it? Let us know in the comments down below.
I've only got the first 3 volumes. There's still 2 more volumes that need to be collected.
That's right.
Oh my god, just put them all in one.
Put them all in one. Make it hard,
Make
baby.
it hard. Faust hardcover.
And we also love to thank our gracious contributors from our Patreon.
That's right. If you want to support the show, feel free to check us out at Patreon/IMPERIUS REX. You got a variety of tier levels that
That's
you
right.
can subscribe to.
That's right.
Some awesome rewards that we cooked up here.
That's right.
And also a free Discord available to all patrons where we just BS about shit like Faust, movies, comics. A lot of pizza talk.
A lot
Big
of pizza talk.
aficionados.
Big pizza fans.
There's actually
yeah.
pizza up there waiting for us. We're going to wrap this up pretty quick here.
Before we wrap it up, let's spin the wheel. Let's
Oh
do
my
something.
God. Thank you for bringing that back
You
up. What are we
are
going to get
welcome.
into next time? Here we are bringing back the illustrious Imperious Rex spinning wheel. Oh my god, I can feel it. It's like that breeze that blows in Nick Cage's hair as he exits the ship in Con Air. Oh!
We
My
got...
tit may have stopped it.
Either way, we got Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Stopped by the tit. It
What
needed
about
some
that?
Daredevil.
What
Okay.
about that? What do you
Okay.
think of some Daredevil?
I'm into some
I
Daredevil.
could do some DD.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
We've
double
done-
D's.
We've done no... DD,
How
stop by the double
appropriate.
D's. All right. We got
Gosh.
Daredevil coming down the pipeline.
Man, and it's so appropriate from Faust and the devil to the devil himself.
Hell's Kitchen. My goodness.
God.
A lot of things happening on this show specifically in the last 2 minutes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We got it going on. So, make some chatter happen in the comments down below. Make some chatter happen to Avatar Press. See if we can get this
Get at 'em.
hardcover going.
Get at them. Tim Vigil, David Quinn. I mean, don't badger them because this is their baby, but like, show support.
Right.
We want to make this happen. Nothing would make me happier if we have a Faust compendium coming our way.
Can you even
So we can
imagine?
all enjoy it. If this happens, we're doing a live book club. We're sitting down, we're reading this, we're reenacting this, we're doing everything. If we
right.
get Faust happening, my word.
Golly! Anyway, until next time, I have been Troy to the Max Extreme.
Ghost Hunter Dave.
And we've been Imperious Rex. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Write your congressman, too.